Well, last night at John's was pretty cool. I had a little spike come in and check out the two mock scrapes that I made there. And then later on I had an 8-point come in and he stayed just out of range. And I'm not sure if I got him on camera or not, but if I do, I'll put that in right here. He looked like he was going to head right toward the mock scrape on my right, but he turned and left, and the grunt didn't work on him, and that was that. So I got on the road and headed out. Almost made it to Iowa when the snow kind of stopped me. I figured I'd stop for the night. Well, I pulled over last night because it was getting snowy, and it's certainly no better this morning. Baby Snowflake is covered in snow. I need to find an alignment shop. She's pulling hard to the left. Then it was a little heavy this morning. But here in Iowa now, it's clear and sunny. So now I'm just trying to get down to Bart's and get in a stand with a little daylight left to start trying to see how the deer are moving. Let's get back on the road. Well, I finally made it down to Bart's house, and it appears I did not pack my air mattress. So I do have my little air mattress. Where's it at? Right there. So I'm going to sleep in my car tonight, and maybe the rest of the time, I don't know. Maybe I just won't go get another air mattress. But it is supposed to be really cold, I think, on Monday and Tuesday. I made it early enough to sit out in the stand a little bit, and nothing came by. But then as I got to the bottom of my stand to leave, sure enough, I spooked one out. So they're there. And seeing as how I haven't harvested anything per se, my meat situation isn't looking real good. So I really need this next week to pan out. I got some tags to work on in Colorado, but you can't count your chickens before they hatch. So hopefully Bart and I, we have a good time this week and get after a few deer. This morning, I saw a lot of deer. First thing, I had 5 deer run by out in the distance, and then they walked behind me about 55 yards, a bunch of does. And then I had a little buck walk up right behind me, and I moved when I shouldn't have. So I spooked him. And then I was sitting there a little longer, facing behind me. Then there an 8-point went. He was about 7. So as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by a dead battery. The one 8-point that I saw was tending a doe. The little guy was, I don't know, 7 yards from me. I tried to pick up my crossbow and he must have spotted me. I moved when I should not have. So I definitely saw 2 different bucks, possibly 3. Later this morning, I'm going to get a stand set up back there, and that's probably going to be my morning spot every morning. There's kind of an oak flat. It's kind of a ridge that goes out, but it's kind of flat right there. And I'm going to do it where the doe's path went and where those 2 bucks came down and where that little buck was going. I'm going to try to find that intersection where they all kind of would have crossed paths and set up in there. And then if I'm in the middle, I'm thinking, I don't know if this is a good thought or not, but I'm thinking if I set up at that proposed intersection, that regardless of the wind, I'll have at least something to work with. You know, I may give up my back this way or give up my front that way, depending on the day, but I think every morning I need to be up on that flat. Today Bart and I headed from Bart's place over to Bart's place, and we hunted there for about 5 hours. I set up on the ground and I didn't even notice these rubs here until 3 hours into it, but I got a trail at about 30 yards here and it kind of angles towards me to about 20 yards. I saw a fork horn come in to about 5 yards and he startled himself looking at me, and then he calmed down and walked away. So I guess I passed that test. And then a little later, right before legal light, I had the buck of my dreams coming up behind me, and then it turned out to be a possum. Bart was down on his food plot and he had some pretty good action. This is Bart's resident groundhog eating up his food plot. Tomorrow morning's going to be cold. It's Friday morning tomorrow, and I'm going to go into that stand that I set up today, but fortunately the wind's going to be real still and not breezy like it was today. So see you guys in the morning at legal light probably. Well, for as much deer activity as I saw yesterday, I saw almost nothing today. Right as I was at the bottom of my ladder, a little buck ran by me. I figured that would happen. I told myself, it doesn't matter whether I get down to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or 45 minutes. The minute I get down, something's going to happen. Sure enough. Though out of character, I probably would have passed on him for now. He was a little guy. He might have been that same little guy I saw yesterday morning. He was heading the opposite direction this morning, though. We're going to take a little break and then get back out there again, because it's that time of year. Be out there as much as possible. Bart's heading over to a place to drop his decoys off and whatnot, because he's going to duck hunt in the morning. The season opens here in Missouri for ducks in the morning. He's going over there. And right now it's about 11 o'clock, and I'm going to head up into some public ground here. Bart and I walked it in the spring, but I'm going to see if there's a spot that maybe is worth setting up on, either with my climber or the ghillie suit turkey chair combo. Well, I was out there a good while before I started seeing anything, and I saw a little buck with about an hour and 40 minutes of legal left, and he went about 60 yards out. Whoa. He rubbed on a tree out there in the distance. I hope I got it on film. And then a little bit later, a doe came out from the same spot, and then probably 30 or 40 minutes before legal light, 4 does came in. At first I thought it was the scenario I don't like, where it's one big one and 2 little ones, but then I realized it was a big one, a medium, and a little one. So if the big or the medium would have come in range, I probably would have taken a shot at one of those. And then a 4th one came in, and she was also somewhere between the big and the medium size. So it was a mostly adult group, I guess you could say. And so 3 of them were going to be in trouble if they came in, but they didn't. One was at about 38, but the light was getting dark and she was quartering away, and I didn't want to take a 38-yard shot as light is waning on a quartering away deer. I don't know what they were eating, but man, I wish that stuff was 20 yards closer to me, because that stuff, they were not in a hurry once they hit that stuff. They were browsing on that for a while. I thought I was going to get locked up in that stand for a long time, but about 5 or 6 minutes before legal, they moved on down the hill. So that allowed me to get out of there on time. We're in the game, we're seeing some deer, can't complain about that. Thanks for watching.